welcome to our Lumina session. For today's video, let's talk about real estate investing for beginners. So let's start with a basic question in investing in real estate. First, how does it work? Second, how can we earn from it? And third, why should we invest in real estate? So real estate investing is all about buying and owning a property with an intention of generating a profit from it. So again, most of investors will tell you that your own house is not necessarily a real estate investment. The main reason why we can profit in a real estate is because real estate almost always appreciates. Why? Because the land is scarce. The more developed the area, the more people want to live in that area, and as a result, the more demand, the less supply we have. So that's basically why real estate value appreciate over time. So how can we earn from real estate? First, we have capital appreciation. That means that we got a property at lower price and sell it at a higher price. The other way is that we can earn the real estate through rental income. There are various ways that you can rent out a property. You can even rent it out just a bare lot, or you can have structures, whether it's a condo unit, house and lot units. You can rent it out as furnished, semi-furnished, or bare. So a lot of people like rental income because it's the money that comes in every month, especially if you have a long-term tenant. So why do we need to invest in a real estate at our 20s? Number one reason here is the time horizon. As young as 20s, we should at least buy and own a property as investment. So when we reach our 30s to 50s, the value of your real estate investment grows. You can earn a lot from it over a decade. If you aim to sell it over time, or as if it is a rent it out for you to have a monthly income. Second reason is it acts like forced saving at your 20s. So having to pay every month for the down payment or amortization of loan forces you to put your money in assets that appreciates. Number three is the power of leverage. Basically, it's a way of borrowing capital money for your investment with an intention to earn from it. Again, it's not a personal use, the amount of money you have borrowed, but you can set it maybe for rental income or capital appreciation. Taking out a home loan and mortgages is one of the cheapest forms of loan with at least minimum of 6 to 8% of interest here in the Philippines. So now let's move on in discussing the kinds of real estate. When we talk about real estate, most of us think that it's more likely for residential properties. That includes condos, townhouses, single firewall, or units. But what people don't consider is that they can also get commercial property, which they can use for retail, offices, or leisure, and also industrial properties, which you can also use for warehouse or factories. And lastly, bare lots, which have also a lot of potential for development. I know a lot of people nowadays, especially during the pandemic, they aim to look for properties in provinces, yet still have the vibe of the city. So good thing in Lumina Homes, it's now available in some areas in Bicol region, especially Legazpi City, Albay, and Sorsogon City. The potential progress of these cities are now in its way up, wherein investments at your 20s, you can both have capital appreciation and rental income from it. So now let's talk about how can we avail or ways for us to buy a real estate. So there are two main ways to buy a property. First is you can directly avail it through a developer. When you buy it from the developer, it's either you can buy it in a pre-selling. That's when the units are not yet built or the property is not being developed. Yet you are already slowly paying the down payment. Another way is when it's already built or it's already done and it's what you consider brand new or ready for occupancy. And the third way is to buy a lot and build it for yourself. Another way, if you don't want to buy it from a developer, is the secondary market. So these are from Facebook Marketplace, from website, from agents, and also similar ways to buy. You can also buy a resale property and build on it, an assumed property, and lastly, foreclosed property that are usually offers from bank and bank. Now let's talk about what we need when we invest in real estate. First, you need good credit, especially if you plan to avail a loan for your property. Good credit can be built in a lot of special ways. Next is to have knowledge. So watching videos like this or checking out the real estate property website online, getting to know more about the property you aim to avail is very important, like getting to know all about the property that they offer and also the policy that comes along when you avail it will help you a lot in decision making. And lastly, of course, the money for reservation and down payment. So I think you should at least have 10 to 30% of cash on hand for you to invest in a real estate. Okay, let's now talk about few types of real estate investors. First, the hunter, the person who hunts a foreclosed property. Second is the flipper. The flipper is the one that buys a property that is not necessarily in best condition, renovates it, and sell it for a profit. The third type of investors are the builders, wherein most of them buy lots only, then build and sell at the end. Next is the swing seller. These are those who buys a lot of reselling property, mostly in subdivision, and right before the community is finished, they sell it for a show. Lastly is the landlord. Basically, they acquire land for renting out. So who do you think you are from these investments? So now let's talk about the cons in real estate. Number one is that a huge chunk of money is tied down in real estate. Next is the upkeep and maintenance to the property, which somehow experienced by landlord owners and those that rent out their property. Lastly, being risky or house poor. So if you don't manage your investment properly and you directly go to real estate, which is a higher risk investment, then you might be what they call house poor, wherein you have your own property, yet when in times you have emergencies, you can easily sell the property over a short period of time. And yeah, that's it for our Lumina session for today, and I hope you learned a lot, especially when it comes to investing in real estate. Again, this is Teresa. Until next Lumina session.